How's it going, everyone? College Lefty, and in this video I ranked the top 10 starting pitchers in MLB The Show 23, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. We're starting this video off with some honorable mentions, and I don't think there are a ton of people using a set 1 pitcher in their wildcard spot right now, but if you were, you might use Roki Sasaki or maybe even Pedro Martinez. But most of these guys, all of these guys are going to be set 2 and 3 players. And throughout the entirety of the game cycle, we've had a two-way ball player glitch. I'm not really going to factor that into the rankings in terms of best all-around starting pitchers. That does increase some of these players' value, I would certainly add, but I wouldn't say it makes them a better pitcher. Some of these guys are going to be personal preference, and also with pitching, especially in a baseball video game, it really depends on the player you're going up against, right? Whether or not Outlier is going to be better than maybe a finesse pitcher, or having a better speed differential could certainly help you against certain hitters rather than maybe, the average MLB The Show player. With that being said, I do think this Kodai Senga is probably the most underrated starting pitcher in the game. This card could be better than some of the guys I have ranked in the top 10 just based on user input, depending on how someone performs with him. But at number 10, we have Sandy Alcantara. I think this card is really good, has a primary pitch of a circle changeup, which is unique. Sandy does throw that pitch a little bit harder than most people throw their changeup, so that's something else to consider. At number 9, we have Rube Foster. This card has Outlier on the screwball, also has some pretty good pitches to go with it, a slurve sinker forkball with a 4-seam. The main thing you have to keep in mind is, guys with 4 fastballs, sinker, cutter, 4-seam, and even a splitter counts as a fastball. I think Marcus Stroman is really good, but you kind of have to be careful against people that have, dead red and the breaking ball quirk. Not really a pitch you can throw. There isn't one with Stroman. That won't activate that quirk. But at number 7, we have Martin Dihigo. Also, very similar. He's got a couple of curveballs, which if you go up against somebody that hits a curveball really well or hits a screwball really well, you're not going to want to use that guy. But at number 6, we have Justin Verlander. I think this card is always a really good pitcher. He has Outlier on the 4-seam. He's got a cutter, a slider, which I think is one of the better pitches in the entire game. Slider does make or break a pitcher. I think it kind of hurts Nolan Ryan a little bit, but Nolan Ryan is still a dominant number 5 starting pitcher in the game. He has Outlier on the fastball, great 12-6 curveball, better than most because it's a little bit harder, and it has maxed break on it. Satchel Paige with number 4 here. We got a guy, once again, a fastball sinker, which is a good combination to have, but then 3 breaking balls. He does have a slider, which helps him. Curveball and screwball are pretty much the same speed. I haven't faced this 99 Satchel Paige, but the other one was a little bit deceptive with his motion. I know they switched it up with this one. But at number 3, we have Paul Skeens. I think this card is definitely a top 5 pitcher. He does have more of a generic windup, not as deceptive as some of these other guys. But a 4-seam with Outlier, slider, circle change, cutter, slurve, I think is a really good pitch mix with elite hits and K per 9. At number 2, we have John Donaldson. To me, this card is the most valuable starting pitcher in the game because you can pitch every single game with them if you want. You can bring them in out of the bullpen every single time until they patch it, which they are working on. So I didn't want to factor that in too much. I think Randy Johnson is the best all-around starting pitcher, but not as valuable at the moment as John Donaldson. Still, to me, the most dominant starting pitcher in the game, and will be for the rest of the game cycle as long as he's eligible. I think having, an even better Randy Johnson later on in the game will be really tough to hit. But that's going to do it for this video. I'm College Lefty, and those are my top 10 starting pitchers with a few honorable mentions. And there are other guys as well, right? Shane McClanahan's another 99 you might want to try out. 4-pitch lefty. I had Yuri Perez in there. We got some other guys we could use. But I'm really intrigued by that Kodai Senga. I want to get that card. One of the reasons why I tried to complete that program up until that point. But that's it. I'm College Lefty, and until next time, peace out.